Without any review from the last several sessions, let me just get right into it. How can I be most like Christ? That's the whole point of being alive. How can I imitate the Lord Jesus? What life must I live? Let me say it this way. What life am I privileged to live that would tell the world that Jesus is alive and alive in me? Imitating Christ, if you'll pardon me, is not going to church every Sunday. Sinners do that all the time. Churches are full of people with good church attendance records. I knew of a man one time, way back when I was a little boy, and they would give these Sunday school awards away. And if you didn't miss Sunday school for a year, you got a pin. And he had 18. He wore them every Sunday, and they dangled down his lapel. 18 perfect attendance pins. But he wasn't saved. And he told you, I'm not a Christian, but I go to Sunday school. It was the most perplexing thing for a young guy like me. Why would you want a perfect attendance pin if you don't even know Jesus? So I'm telling you, imitating Jesus is not going to church every Sunday. Imitating Jesus is not paying your tithes faithfully. How am I most like Christ? Well, let me ask you this question. Are you easily offended? Are you sensitive? Boy, some things were said about Jesus, unbelievable things. They call him every name that could be called in that culture. They called him eventually the son of the devil. They called him a drunkard, a wine bibber, a hypocrite, a false prophet. He was called a lot of things, and Jesus never got upset and tried to defend himself. He was not sensitive. I'm going to ask you again. Look right here. Are you easily offended? Do words from people upset you? When they say the wrong thing about you or the inaccurate thing about you, are you easily upset? Are you insulted if you are asked to do a menial task when you know you're much more capable than that? Are you insulted when you don't get to sit where the well-known sit? Are you insulted when you're not recognized for something you did? We all want to hear thank you. I know that. But when we don't get it, we're not even supposed to be upset about it. We did the right thing, and God will say thank you himself one of these days. Are we quick to forgive? I'm trying to let you see what it means to be like Jesus, to humble ourselves under the mighty hand of God that he may exalt us in due season. Are we quick to forgive? Let me say this about forgiveness. I live in it. I was forgiven when I asked Christ to forgive me of my sins. I've been walking in forgiveness ever since. I often preach from the prodigal son, and in my mind, I have seen the prodigal down in the pig pen after he decided he had made a fool of himself, wasted his father's gifts to him, his inheritance, and he said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to say to my father. Listen, he was rehearsing his speech. He was laying ground to ask his father to forgive him. All the way back to the father's porch, he was going over what he was going to say, how he should say it, the right way to say it. And the whole time, he had no idea that his father had already forgiven him. He didn't even have to ask for it. His father had forgiven him. It was his father. And his father loved him. So this thing about forgiveness, that's Christ's likeness there. And I will tell you that the longer it takes you to forgive somebody, the harder it will be to forgive them. We need to learn to be quick forgivers. Forget about it. Let's not make people owe us anything. Let's not break fellowship with people because they seem to be unthankful. Let's not hold them in unforgiveness. Why don't you just go ahead today, right now, pause, forgive everybody. If you and your son are estranged, just forgive him and make it right. If it's your daughter, if it's your spouse, if y'all had a big fight, if it's your parent, somebody at work, a friend, why don't you get that load off your shoulder? Why don't you quit bearing that burden and just say, you know what, God's been good to me. He forgave me quickly. I forgive everybody else. If you'll walk in forgiveness, you'll walk in pure satisfaction. You'll walk in a pure blessing. Be quick to forgive. And I know I'm repeating it because this seems in my heart to be so important right now. The longer it takes you to forgive, the more you have to figure it out and think about it, mull it over, the more difficult it is for you to actually do it. Be quick about it. Do it now. You could get on the phone right now. Maybe that's why you tuned in today. Today. Get on the phone. Make it right. Clear it up. Forget about it. That's a burden you don't need to carry. Nobody should owe us anything. In fact, the scriptures say, owe no man anything, just love him. So if I don't need to owe anybody anything, don't make anybody owe you something. You owe me, you owe me. You know what? It'll be a happy day and your shoulders will become lighter if you'll just let it go. Forgive quickly, and imitate Christ in that very fashion. Yeah. You want to defeat the devil? Compliment somebody. Want to mash the devil's head in the ground? Do a kind deed for somebody. You want to make hell sob? Be a servant. Go next door and do something nice. If you want to make sure that you are walking in the peace and the forgiveness of God, do something sacrificial, something that's not comfortable. Forgive it, forget it, and be happy. God bless you, and may the Lord help you to act this out today. See you next time.